Hey everyone, Darby here, founder of GenAIUniversity.com. And in today's call, we're going to be diving into some market sauce, our weekly office hours. We'll be covering different questions and connecting with the community of folks out there using market sauce and integrating it into their business. Today marks week one of our weekly office hours for 2025. So the format of today's call is we're joined by Ivy. Good to see you is really just answering your questions about what you're doing with Market Sauce. If you have questions about how to utilize it in your business, or if there's any particular thing related on that note that we can address here live on these calls and through the comments that will be coming in through our community. How's it going, Ivy?
Hi, Darby. Good afternoon from your side of the world.
Yeah, where are you tuning in from?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Where are you based out of?
Oh, I'm from the Philippines.
Glad you could make it here. I don't know
Yeah,
what
sure.
time is it over there right now?
Oh, it's 2 in the morning.
Oh boy. Well, all right. Thanks for making it onto the office hours. You are the first one here on the call today. Is there any questions that you've got or anywhere that I can support you?
No, actually, one of my colleagues is supposed to be in here, and she's the one who's supposed to ask questions, but none from me.
All right.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Derek, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Welcome in.
Thank
Glad you
you.
could make the first call. We're just open floor right now, connecting over questions or otherwise related to market sauce and integration into your business. Love to hear what you're up to and if there's any questions that you've got, Derek.
Up to just expanding the portfolio that I have, trying to get some new clients. But one new thing that I'm working on, and maybe we can throw some ideas around here. And I'm looking for my post-it that I wrote it on. But let's say it's providing, I want to market my services to people who want certain things from like Costco, because currently I am in Mexico. So people who live, I think it's, let's just say 80 miles from Costco and Sam's, and they don't have a car, but they want things from Costco and I have the car. And then I could buy the things and deliver it to them. So that's the global idea.
This is similar to like your own version of DoorDash or something where you're like renting out your time. You've got the car, you'll drive, hook people up with some Costco groceries,
You got it.
and you're in Mexico right now. Is that a new move for you?
It's a temporary thing.
All right. What part of Mexico?
Guadalajara,
Nice. This is an interesting use. I haven't done one for a DoorDash style delivery service based out of Mexico, but I think that we could dig in and see how we would approach this to see how we can move the needle forward with connecting, in your case, more of those types of clients, correct?
correct.
And so is there a specific problem that you're running into related to reaching these people right now, or have you been working with them and you just want to work with more of these types of clients?
No, it was just an idea that we worked and thought of 2 nights ago. Brand new.
All right, cool. So, hey, good to see you, Ree. We're just taking on the first few questions here for this week's office hours. And Derek, I want to run through a quick workflow of how maybe you could start to work with this and maybe help yourself get a better idea of who the target audience is and how to address them and go about this process to get a bit more on the same page with you. Is it a business partner? Is it your wife? Is it,
My my
um,
wife.
okay, great. So I've done, of course, we could run a custom blueprint inside of the portal which would be a start, but I'd like to start even a little bit before getting to that point to refining through a little bit more about your idea and fleshing that bit out, maybe based on something that's already existing out there. Is there another service or like a product out there that you see has a lot of parallels or similarities with what you're doing? We've already mentioned DoorDash, but is there one that's even more top of mind?
Top of mind as incense for deliveries in the area would be, just lost the name. What I can think of right now is Rappi, Rapi, and of course Uber Eats, and the other one, Didi, Didi.
EIDI.
So those three are the big food delivery providers in the area.
All right, so we've got Uber Eats, which is obviously going to be the big gorilla that
Mhm.
is going to have. I'm imagining they have the majority of the market share down there, but I could be totally wrong. Is it a common delivery service in that part of the world?
It's common, and Didi Foods is the monster.
Which one?
Didi,
Can you spell that?
Didi,
DIBI or DI?
Derrick Indigo.
Okay, I typed in a different word. So we got Rappi, Didi, and then Uber Eats. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to Mexico online in my browser, not physically. I'm gonna share my screen first. You've given us a website that we can refer to that would have a similar offering that we could scan and provide additional context if you don't already have a website. I did do the Mexican language version of this site right here, but I don't think we need the Mexican version of the site. Let me D foods. Oops, it already thinks I'm in Mexico. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy the URL first and foremost, and then I'm gonna open up my MarketSauce Studio app. I'm gonna have access to a new tool that we're testing out in here. You guys, depending on when you're watching this right now, you can test it out for free. And so I'll demonstrate, Derek, how you could play with this a little bit more off of this call as well and get more refined. The process for getting started here, and this would be a lead into something like a full custom 10 plays page plus report as another tool that you could approach, especially in the ideation and getting really crystal clear on who you're going to be serving more here. I'm going to paste the URL that it'll scan for context. And then, Derek, I'm going to start typing out, or I'm going to speak some of it. What I got and understood from you, you let me know if I'm off base with the additional context here, because with any generative AI, the inputs and context that we provide is going to have a huge impact on what it is capable of processing to deliver the highest quality of outputs. And so the more time you're spending here, the more times you have to flush through these inputs, the more of a likelihood that you're going to have better results that are more useful for you. So my voice dictation is not working right now, so I'm going to just type it out. I am launching let's just say like a Costco delivery service that is similar to services in my area of Mexico, like Didi, Rappi, and Uber Eats. But our niche is for Costco delivery for people, you say 80 miles away, so it's too far for them to drive. That's what you're saying?
Right. That,
Our
or they don't have a car.
So we are providing a delivery service solution using our vehicles to shop and deliver their goods from Costco. Am I missing anything here, Derek?
No, would it be good idea to put that we're only offering the service twice per month
Is that on a per person base, or you're only shopping and delivering in bulk? So twice a month, and then you'll go and pass them out from there.
in bulk? Yes.
Okay. We are offering let me see, delivery service twice a month. So we shop in bulk and then deliver so we can handle a lot of deliveries in batches. Anything else that would be important for our friendly AI assistants to understand before we take on to the next step?
No, I think that's a great start.
All right, so to quickly recap then, we have this idea for a Costco delivery service for yourself that you're going to be fulfilling for people in around your area of Mexico, 80 miles plus, or they don't have a car, so you're offering this as a service that you are going to do to shop and deliver for them twice a month, similar to DD, which is another popular service, and then other things like Google Eats. So what I'm going to do is click submit, and how this quantum mentalist is going to operate is by first scanning the website you give it. So you want to make sure the website's going to have a relevant information on it. And then it's going to take into account with that website or link that you're providing for context, the additional user inputs that we just provided there. And so if you're looking to, let's see right here, it's going to take 2 seconds. It's still scanning and it's still generating this initial report. But now we can see the first round of the generation. And it's going too fast for us to read all of it. I'm going to let it finish the report. So you can see all like the different things that it is generating. And right here is the perfect opportunity for us to just review as the human in the loop and assess whether or not this information even makes sense based on what we've already done or know and research about the process. So this has generated an initial kind of starting strategy that you could build and refine off of from the context we provided it. And as an executive summary, we've got launching a food Costco delivery service in Mexico without car access to those without car access or they're outside of a certain range, leveraging bulk delivery and aiming to convenience in a niche market underserved by existing players like DD, Rappi, and Uber Eats. And from there, it's going to assess the SWOT analysis. What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that you may be experiencing or could experience coming into this market? And some of the initial market size and projections. Rural and semi-urban households, and expanding middle class and increasing internet penetration, increasing digital literacy, given that you said you're in a Guadalajara, right? So more and more people
Yes.
are getting online, getting access to phones, out maybe rural, they can't access Costco, but could tap into a service like this. And
I
so
like the
prime.
sub-segment. The
Mhm.
sub-segment is really where we were thinking of focusing. The elderly who can't drive or who don't have a car, that type of thing, and the
Okay.
remoteness of the area.
So those are really good points to highlight here because now, like with that information and knowing that this is giving me outputs that are generally on track, I might actually want to go and run this again with more context specifically towards focusing on the elderly and otherwise. And I think just based on what you've told me, let's go ahead and just do that for demonstration purposes. But
Okay.
even the smallest tweaks can help us refining and getting further down the path of a first draft of a strategy that we can continue to flesh out. So let's just say I want to focus, our focus is on the elderly who cannot drive. And remind me what else you just said there, Derek.
And the remote location of this is the name of the city, but I'm going to spell it out for you. AJIC.
Okay, so I'm going to give these two additional bits of context and then resubmit. So I'm always curious when I'm rerunning this initial draft, anytime with AI is even the smallest change in input can have a large output differentiator. So now we see persona development, primary persona of the service is elderly population. It's going to keep giving me weird things if I try to keep it from scrolling. So you can scan it as it goes. I think that's, yeah. So there's the second draft of the quantum mentalist report. So we could see like persona development now, elderly population residing in remote areas, particularly in, how do you say it?
Ahihik.
Ahihik. So in Ahihik, the individuals are typically over 65, often retired, fixed income, mobility issues. And, like these are all like pain points that you could address in your marketing, like
And
mobility issues, like
that's spot on.
yeah.
65, often retired. Yes.
So then primary segment, individuals in remote locations without vehicles, middle-aged adults. Yeah, and so we'd want to target from what you've told me a bit more on this primary segment. And then the customer journey mapping, consider the prospects, cost effectiveness, decision making. And as you can see, a lot of this information you'll find in certain areas of the full custom market sauce blueprint. but we don't necessarily want to even get to that point until we're like really clear about this is the target audience that we're going to be serving. And then I'm fleshing out my content brief here. So this is a newer addition to our in the MarketSauce studio that we're going to continue to add more GPTs, more bots, more specific frameworks, just as some additional context for anyone that is watching this video. And so this is a demonstration that from this information, I could pass this back to Derek and you could work through, finalize things out a bit more. And then when the time is ready, you can use a credit for one of the blueprints to organize everything in a fully built out report that we could turn that into the rest of your marketing strategy. And while you're still in the discovery phase, Derek, and anyone going through, right now we've enabled the ability to take one of these quantum mentalist generations and then activate. We're using OpenAI right now, 4.0, to start to interact in a conversation with the report, which could means that you could actually start to talk with the segment that you're working with, like a simulated conversation with them, so to speak. So a lot of information here to analyze. Derek, get a kind of a scan through. Some of it's like a little bit further down the road, what to address in the market, create an uncontested market space by catering exclusive to Costco shoppers in remote areas, focus on the elderly. See, that seems so specific and so niche, but if there's enough people out there that want to shop at Costco but are hindered by this, then it'd be really interesting to see how that messaging will resonate to somebody like that. Once you want to go and do what I said here, Derek, I say you come off camera. If you want to chat about anything next, just let me know. But Derek, right here, if you click the chat interface, it's going to open up a full chat with the context provided, and now you can continue as conversational AI works. So, okay, great. Let's focus on the elderly segment. I want to create a specific series of ads that target them now. And this could be, you could say blog posts. This could be research them a little bit more, research additional things, right? This is where you're only limited by your imagination in a lot of cases. And at the same time, feel free to pair this with something like Perplexity and do even more research using something like Perplexity in this platform. You could just copy and paste a lot of this information in there to find other sources of information that maybe you could dive a bit deeper into. Now we see here, I just gave it the prompt. Let's focus on the elderly segment. I want to create a specific series and target them now, or ads. I don't know if it understood what ADSD was. So DD Food, prominent player, is gearing up. So it took the context that we are DD Food, which, like, frankly, doesn't
We're
really,
not.
it's whatever. Like, we could just say, oh, our name is Derek's Food Delivery. But ultimately, it's the people that we're creating this campaign around. This is the opportunity. Primary persona, Helen, the independent elder. And so we got some basic demographics, psychographics, behavioral traits, geography, like obviously like cities around that area you could get more narrowed down to, customer journeys mapping, word of mouth community events. So how are you going to get in front of them? Is there a community event that you could go to, connect with the locals, tell them about your service, get them ordering one bulk delivery through you, and customize it from there. Problem solution, competitor identification. So it's giving me a lot of information in here and even just drew me this nice comparison matrix. Let's see. You're at that stage with going through here, right? Like you came up with this idea, what, 2 days ago, Derek? And like, you tell me if even having this information right now is useful for you fleshing through this idea.
It is very useful because it's just the beginning of an idea. And I was going to last night go into the MarketSauce and create a, blueprint just to start, just to flesh it out a little bit, to get more ideas. And I didn't get a chance to do that. And I knew this office hours was coming up. So I just said, let me jump on office hours and see if we can flesh it out more. But the information that we're seeing here gives me more ideas, and I can tweak it a little more to where I want it to be.
That's great. And so How I would take this to the next step of building a full blueprint would be using the portal that we've got, like from this as being the initial brainstorming, getting on the same page. You could work with this, like you said, is refining the content brief and getting that like really clear based on what we've already given it before you would go on to that next stage. But it seems to me you could have gone several different paths here based on what the AI was just saying are opportunities, but you knew that you weren't really wanting to go towards the some of the other segments of the market and that you had a bit of an idea about the elderly and some of that. And so this will help with validating and giving you more and more of the language that would speak directly to this audience.
And I like that initially it came up with what we feel our target audience should be as the subsegment. And I think what we will find, hopefully, is that when that becomes let's say, the primary target, that it will come up with additional targets that we didn't think of or that we may need to try to get into also, like professionals that are there that don't have time.
Yeah, and I think once you're really getting like deeper on that level, that's where using a credit for a custom blueprint is going to be helpful and getting one really refined with who's that core segment that you're building at here. But within that segment, the MarketSauce 9000 recipe is going to give you the full blueprint plus 10 of different micro segments that you could spin off to. Some of those may be stuff that we've seen here. Some of those may be segments within the 65 elderly that are remote that you could splinter off and target multiple different segments in there. And there's probably an 80-20 principle at work to help
Hmm.
with getting even more granular and clear on who you're going to be serving. So I'm glad you found that helpful. And I hope anyone else walking through this process sees that it's very much back and forth, conversational, iterative, but requires thought and attention on what are you putting in at the first case and having some concept or idea about like what you're looking for in terms of an output to know that it's on the right track.
I did. Very helpful. Thank you, Darby.
You got it, Derek. Ree, I don't know if you're in a position to
I
chat.
am. Hi, hey Darby, how are you?
Doing good.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
you, man. I'm
Yeah.
doing great, thank you. I have Ivy on my team. Okay, so let me just give you a few background context, and then I'm going to formulate my questions. So just bear with me, okay?
Yeah.
So I bought a bunch of credits, but I was like, I didn't want to waste them because I wanted to figure out how this syncs up with all the other things that I've been integrating. So we have been going down the path with using Flowchat. And that approach, I'm not sure if you're too familiar with his product line.
I know a little bit about it. I saw him speak
Speak. Okay.
at the summit.
At the mastermind. Okay, cool. So we have this that we're trying to do some outreach through social selling. We're calling it social selling, right? And then we have clients that come to me and they need a rebrand. So I could scan their entire website, which I loved that prompt you gave me, but it doesn't factor into the fact that after I strategize with them, things change, like the target audiences change. And so for a couple of clients, this is what I'm running up against with. I'm trying to give them a long-term strategy, which is I think what the blueprint will provide, but I'm also trying to provide something right now that can help them generate leads and generate revenue using social selling, using the flow chat, following also some of Travis Sago's. I read his entire book, following that mindset,
Hmm.
and then incorporating the research that's garnered from MarketSauce. Okay, so there's a lot in that report, that initial report, that's good. It's just the language of the term is different. So here's what I'm trying to do. I'll just start with one client. I am trying to put together a campaign on Flowchat to generate leads. And I also want to provide some guidance on what they should be talking about on social media, what kind of reels and what kind of content they should be talking about based on what the target audience's needs and what their present pain is or are. And we've identified 3 or 4 of the present pains that we're trying to pre-sell a program basically.
Hmm.
So we identified 3 or 4 of them, but we want to put them through a funnel, like a raise the hand. Hey, I'm putting together a detox program. Would you be interested in this sort of thing? Okay. So bear with me. I didn't plan all this out. So I want to
All
be
good.
able to have my team go into MarketSauce and say, okay, we are targeting busy professionals and busy parents. We're gonna start with so busy professionals and busy parents who are health focused or health enthusiasts, or maybe they're dealing with bloating, low energy, excessive gas, or whatever the symptoms are. We can put that in there. And I want to be able to generate a campaign that engages them on FlowChat to speak into the symptoms that Travis Sago talks about rather than the problems. Like, hey, are you experiencing these symptoms? To pre-sell them a 6-week program that we're trying to sell. I want help with some of the languaging and the messaging and the keywords that we should be focusing in, and the content areas that I should direct my client to post on social media. And I feel like MarketSauce can help me do that, but I don't need all the other stuff. There's just a lot of stuff in there that I think could be really confusing. I just need how do we talk about the present pain? What are the features that might be available in a program? Because eventually I want to create a focus group when that feature is available to be able to ask them like, hey, what do they want in this thing? But we're going to get live focus group people because we're going to pre-sell this program. So given that, I have Ivy on here who's on my team, and then Abigail, who typically has been spending a lot more time on this, but I just want to be able to either figure out, should I use the first? Hold on, let me get the question. Can you help me figure out how to use MarketSauce with all those background data points that I have to at least come up with some messaging, some hooks, and some content areas to post on social media?
Yeah, let's break this down a bit, because you are using FlowChat as FlowChat is its own software system for outreach and engaging with people. Maybe it posts for you, but it's also direct messaging, correct, on different platforms.
It's a direct messaging on different platform, and I can see it following the Travis Sago approach. We're just saying, hey, I'm thinking about putting together a program, raising a hand. Would you be interested? And then a second message would be like, awesome, great. Hey, do you experience one of these 3 energy things? Symptoms is what I want to put. And then 3, so great. We can either move it to a call, or we can put it to a Google document saying, hey, this is a VIP program that we're offering. We haven't announced it publicly, yada, yada, yada. So it's that sort of thing. And I'll build that out. I want to build that out for them. I've been studying all this, but I want them to push out content on social media, just creating value for that target audience. And I can input the reason I said their existing website wasn't targeting an audience. It was like, hey, we can help everyone. So I really want to target busy professionals and busy parents. That's the market I want to penetrate. Ask me questions.
Yeah, so we're targeting busy professionals and busy parents. They're dealing with bloating, low energy, excessive gas, all of those things that are causing problems.
Yes.
There's a few ways that we could approach this. One is going straight to a blueprint. And if you're like watching what we were doing with Derrick, we were doing a pre-research before we might go in and create a full blueprint. Because you might have 2 blueprints here. A busy professional and a busy parent are probably going to have 2 different like things that they're dealing with, at least from what are their goals and all of those things related to that. And so I would want to get clear first on who you want to be creating those blueprints for. The way that I see it anyways is getting clear on who really specifically you want. And it might be 2 blueprints, it might be 3 or 4 or 5, just depending on how many segments you'd be creating this content with. The blueprints inside of the MarketSauce portal will, as part of like how it's just organized in there, is just a way that you can keep the different avatars that you're creating content around. It's like a central hub for updating and adding more information from the campaigns. And so that's what we've heard from some members using it, is that part is actually helpful because it keeps the different blueprints clear. But I mean, if we're talking about so there's 2 ways that we can approach this. I'm just going to go through like the general way that would be like, I'm really not sure about anything, and I just want to read this, scan through this report and pick out what resonates with me first. I would just start here to go faster and then not get stuck in creating a bunch of chat threads and doing that.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me give you the exact wording.
Okay.
So think for this. And if you want, we can target busy professionals if you think it's could be too much to do two audiences.
I would say let's start with just one, and then we could run through the same process and rinse and repeat it again and refine it from there. So is there like a perfect, like who's better for you in your opinion that you'd like to be working with?
For my client, and then
Or for them?
I feel like they should be going after parents, but
This could be part of your case as to why it makes sense to go after parents too. And so there's no right or wrong answer here. We can just run through this process,
that's
demonstrating
fine.
it for one.
Let's go with, hold on, I just want to look at one other thing on my strategy deck that I sent. Fuck, where did I put it? Okay, fine. Let's just do busy professionals then. And then Ivy, just keep watching here. Maybe you can run the same process that Darby's taking us through for busy parents.
Yep, exactly. So however we approach this right now, you could take like avatar, niche, goal, problem, just like bucket those variables here, and then you could
Yes.
swap them out. And so let's just say busy professionals dealing with bloating, low energy, and excessive gas. What would be helpful also, Ree, is if you could give me like a quick sentence about what makes their product different in terms of is there
Yep.
something unique that they do?
Yeah, so they help people improve their gut health by combining Ayurvedic medicine. Yeah, Ayurvedic, Ayurvedic medicine, Kitchari, Kitchari, supplements, and then a community, right? So they get to do it in a program with a community of other people. And then maybe there's some testing there, like stool testing. You could probably put that into the category of functional medicine. So functional medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and Kitchari, which is, so there's no meal prep. It's a 5-day cleanse that they can do, but then they have it's a 6-week program that we're trying to sell that really transforms their gut health, so they can lose that stubborn weight, they can increase more energy, their skin will be glowing, and reduce gas and bloating.
All right. Let's pause it for here, just for right now. So 'cause this is like a plenty of enough to start with the process and make sure that the AI is going to give us the proper outputs with this in mind. And if all of these problems and how the solution is the same here, we target busy professionals, could be busy parents, and then I would experiment with like what outputs are you getting that are different there. So I'm going to quickly copy this and click next. The next prompt here is just like any additional context. And so if there's anything that comes to mind, let me know right now, Ree, or I'll just say, and then I'll move on to the publishing of it.
Give me one example that's different from the previous context. Is it like who they are, like what differentiates them, or let's see, what would be good to know about your business? Brag.
Maybe we've helped maybe like you've helped 1,000 clients, or you're a worldwide use, or you have a proprietary app that you developed, like just anything that comes to mind if it seems
so
relevant.
Credibility. Yeah, they're a year old, so they're not as established. So I don't have a ton there. Maybe I could talk about, they have a pretty well-known person in the functional medicine or in the gut health space who's like their board of advisors, and they've helped probably 500 people go through their program. Yeah, I don't know. It's fair in terms of their proof point.
I'm just going to say NA. This could all very well just be like one input. There's sometimes it helps to have an additional prompt there.
Okay.
So now what I've done is I've submitted that first initial content project for a blueprint, which would use one of your blueprint credits. And I'm happy to send this document to you whenever it's done processing. Typically, if nothing is broken or nothing gets paused for whatever reason, this generation process will show up in the order section, typically take about 5 to 10 minutes now. And what that's going to do is generate the blueprint. So while we're generating this blueprint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the secondary approach to this that you could use as building context to then create this report that will expand on everything else. And that is, I'm just going to jump back into our MarketSauce studio. So if you guys go to studio.marketsauce.ai, this is where you would have access to this. I'm not going to tap into the Quantum Mentalist for this just right now, especially because their website doesn't have a lot of really great information and I would want to bring maybe another document to attach for a file. But we've trained this DARB GPT on the buyer's brief book, which has the MarketSauce 9000 instructions in it, and then a number of other frameworks that we've just given it extra context for how to help with what we're about to tackle right now, which is give me information about your avatar. You could create those simulated focus groups in here as well, like we've talked about in the past, just by asking it to assume those type of roles. But I want to start with this. We are targeting exactly what you just told me, and this could help with just refining and getting really clear on that. But you actually gave me all the prompts that I would most likely need to get the
Oh,
things
really?
that you're
Okay.
looking for. Because what you said
Cool.
to me was, I want the symptoms, I want this, I want that. You don't need to go to me to then go and process this for you. You can go directly to DARB, and because it's utilizing GPT 4.0 right now, it's plugged in with OpenAI, and it's going to start basically taking what is happening right now in the background of generating an entire 10-page blueprint report that would be like the foundation that you could feed back into here. It's just going to get you started in making sure that and helping you with refining who that is. And so it named this avatar audience Busy Beth. Many busy professionals often face gut health issues, factors stress,
Yes.
irregular habits, poor choice. I don't it it's usually going to say that if it has issues with like scanning or it's trying to scan too much. Or, I don't have exact statistics.
That's fine. I can have the client add in statistics. Yep.
Yeah, and all that stuff's fine there. We're going to talk about some of the stuff. It's AI and we're still building it out. But I just gave it some initial context. The reason I like leading with a blueprint if I have it is because it already has all of like the inputs of what you provide about your business and then all of the information. So it just helps with getting this thing primed to generate all that context. But what it's going to do is now conversationally, if it doesn't feel like it has this information, can you please provide more details about the following? So
Got it.
demographics, age, income, range. And so I'm just going to
Okay.
make some stuff here real quick, Reed, just for the sake of time.
Just the sake of showing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
think
so
we
we've
have
got
some of this information. Perfect.
so age, income. So let's just say let's say
30 to
34.
45. Yeah.
Yeah, so 30 to 45. Let's say 100K plus a year, maybe in their household. Again, it just is all
Yep.
you can come back through here. Specific challenges or pain points, any unique features, pricing. I'm just going to add in the context I pasted again. And I need to assess the symptoms associated with their pain, but first identify their top pain points so I can confirm. And so I'm giving it a little more context, and I'm also telling it, hey, I want to address the symptoms specifically that I'm doing here, but I want to make sure that like the pain points that it's coming out are also things that and you've already said some of them, right? Low energy, constant fatigue, difficulty concentrating, reduced productivity, bloating, excessive gas. And so have you conducted surveys and you might already have this information from the client saying, these look good. Now give me 5 related symptoms might be experiencing that they are focused on right now. And especially given that you've gone through Travis's book and you understand the concept of like how he's like walking people through Pat on Hell Island,
Yep.
helping them
Yep.
address the problems. Afternoon energy crash, right? Like,
Yep.
afternoon energy crash, uncomfortable bloating after meals, unpredictable digestive issues.
Those are all it. Those are all it. Yep.
And so now I could take these and say, okay, cool. Now I need 5 AIDA hand raiser type of messages I can reach out to, ask, and then survey potential clients. And that could be anything. You could say, oh, I have a framework that I want to follow. Or maybe you're working with the flowchat guys and they have a really solid structure here for a whole follow-up
First, yeah.
sequence flow. You could take
Yeah, they
that,
do.
you could
Yeah.
add that into this chat and then say, hey, follow this framework for these 10 messages, but rewrite the framework to speak directly to like the audience I'm targeting here. Then I would, even if it's generic and it's just for the general people as a template, You could rewrite those templates to speak to any number of audience. So we have attention busy professional at 3 p.m. energy crash sabotaging your productivity. Imagine powering through your workday without reaching for another coffee. Discover how 5-day gut reset could transform your energy levels. Take our quick survey to see if you're a candidate for the program. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. There's all building on the symptoms as.
And this could be, can we try one other prompt following this one? By the way, this is my first time hearing about the DARB. What if we turn this into, can we take one of these or any one of these and turn them into a 9-word email campaign?
I'm assuming you got a certain type of a framework for that email campaign.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Are you familiar with the 9-word email campaign or no?
If you said it, I know I've heard it before, and I'm familiar with it. But
yeah, basically, like Dean Jackson, a lot of the marketers, they use this 9-word email. It's like basically, hey, I'm thinking about putting together a program. Are you interested? It's like very short, non-fancy.
You're on a mute, Re.
Sorry, I was trying to move the screen so I can see what you're typing, but I can say the mute. So basically, yeah, I need.
Yeah, so I'm.
Can we ask it? Are you familiar with the 9-word email marketing strategy?
Yeah.
And then basically, it's a 3 to 4 part nurture campaign that is, hey, I'm thinking about putting together a program, and then second email is like a fake forward, and then I don't know, it's super simple, but I just wanted to see if I can get it into 9 words. Yeah, it's close. Yeah,
nothing wrong with simple. And if you have these specific frameworks that you already have like handy from, if you've already gone through one of these programs, or you just have them as part of your swipe file, you can say, here's the framework for it. Now write this campaign out for my target audience. So it's going to say, like, cool, hey, blank, still struggling with that afternoon energy crash. Hey, you want to know the secret to all day energy? And however that would end up following up, ready to banish brain fog for good. It's addressing all of the different symptoms up here that, like, brain fog got you, XYZ.
Okay.
And so you can keep following that thread to, like, basically, okay, here's my whole campaign. Now let's go ahead and upload it into like Flowchat and test the messaging
and test
whatever.
It. Yeah.
And so that is more of now we're direct, like getting really quickly problems, symptoms, 9-word email outreach campaign. Okay, we can go to Flowchat for that. We also addressed or talked about the, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like social media, just general awareness, like staying top of mind, talking about the other things. It can be a little bit less like direct responsey, but you're going to want to talk about the problems or the things that are already happening inside the mind of your prospects.
That's right. Yeah, just creating content. So I could probably just go down that rabbit hole and just say, hey, help me come up with some ideas for social media posts or reels.
And you could, and you can continue down using just DARB, and you could get a lot of this stuff out just fine. Where I think you'll save time also and get additional ideas that are going to be more formatted and in a way that you could also now update them, because we've integrated with Google Documents. Is the research report is done now, the one that we submitted about 6 minutes ago.
Okay.
It's identified this person here, and Alex is an entrepreneur, and Alex is a busy professional. And so now we've got the custom report that we've generated to cover a lot of what, if you really went through every single one of the prompts and everything in DARB, like you could generate all of these on your own. It's just going to take you more time. And if you need and want to have a full report like this to look at, what you can also do is use this as your reference point to walk through with a client and add things in from over here into this report. Oh, you can easily copy and paste that into a section down here, or build off this report and have everything all organized in one area. And so we see here topic, complaint, gut health challenges, discomfort, bloating, low energy, excess weight. But these will generally go up to 10 each when we're generating these. And so it's going to give you a lot more of the different ideas that you can build on top of. And all of these topics are things that you could, are you upset with your unhealth? Is your skin appearance feel like you're just don't have the same glow that you used to? Did you know your gut health might be playing a factor to how your skin is, right? Like could be like a talking point for your client to build off of as a reference. Time constraints, inability to maintain consistent health routines. You need quick, lasting health improvements, uncertainty about reliability of health supplements, secondary goals. And then as you can go through the buyer's brief book, and you may not always need all of these sections all the time, but these are all great like things that could inform your social media content and how until we have it completely integrated with the chat function inside of our MarketSauce portal, which is why we made the DARB inside of the studio. You could just download this document now and attach it to your chat thread. And so now you can start to engage with the report the same sort of way.
Okay.
And determine like, where do I want to go with this report and what paths do I want to follow and continue on, or what do I want to kind of nix because it's not aligned with like my content and my goals and campaign. So let me scroll
cool. Thank you.
all the way at the bottom here. We get to the offer targets. And then we've got, again, if you just asked it through the prompt, provide me offer targets for, and the prompts are all in the book that you guys can copy and paste also. So give me 10 different offer targets. So we have marketing executive, software developer, freelance writer, sales director, nutritionist. Maybe they're all busy professionals, but each one of these could warrant a very
like nuanced messaging and needs and so forth.
Yeah,
Content.
exactly.
Okay, cool. So how do we get access to the link on the DARB GPT? Because we've been just using I've been having my team use the Mentalist GPT.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what's the difference between taking this report, uploading it for context on ChatGPT versus the Mentalist versus the DARB? I would presume I would get different outputs.
You might. We're building a lot. The Mentalist on ChatGPT right now is pretty much just trained on the buyer's brief book. We're building in more to the one that we can control more of how we actually add in different frameworks and different functions on side of DARB, because we're using Pickaxe to build it right now, but we'll be plugging it in with some other things as we continue to grow. So as it stands right now, right, we're in the middle of January, that there's not like a massive difference if you're looking to just do how we approach DARB with what you're looking to get at here. You're going to be able to get most of that from the Mentalist GPT. And we will be integrating DARB directly into the MarketSauce platform. So you don't really necessarily need to switch over into ChatGPT. You'll just have it all in one interface. Okay. It is using OpenAI 4.0 right now. And so you're still getting access to OpenAI, and that's the most powerful model that we have the ability to tap into right now. I would say it's worth just testing and seeing if anyone does give you more for other. It's open right now for folks that are using our MarketSauce to test and use without an additional subscription. So I'm curious if you are using both, if you find one is better than the other. It's not really built for teams. So if you are giving multiple people on your team right now, which if they're all on your ChatGPT and want to be able to access that same account from different emails.
Which account? The markets?
Like, that's going to be accessible if you have a ChatGPT account.
We have a paid ChatGPT team account.
Yep.
And I believe I added Ivy and Abigail on the team for my MarketSauce account, I think.
Yeah, well, it's a little nuance here for the like where to go with what. I would say if you're using the MarketSauce GPT, like that, you can interact with it the same type of way to start to extract and get that information. And then you can also feed in the blueprint like we just did here to give it additional context right away. We've just given the DARB GPT that I've been demonstrating in a little bit more that we're building and testing on our front. So if that's not, it's not super clear about which one to use specifically, I would say you're going to be just fine with using the MarketSauce Mentalist. The reason that I'm building this right now, and for anyone wondering why the heck is Darby now building stuff in his own DARB instead of MarketSauce, is because you have to have a ChatGPT account for accessing the Mentalist, and we're limited in terms of how much development we can do for integration on the back end with it right now. So like our goal is to train our GPTs on more and more of our frameworks as we build them out, and we're going to be just really limited to how we can do that.
Understood.
Just inside of the Mentalist.
Okay, cool. That's a long-term play. But for purposes for now, in terms of speed of executing what we just learned today, we would use MarketSauce, Mentalist, and MarketSauce and Mentalist. I think we'll be just fine going down this rabbit hole and producing what you just showed. Okay, cool. All right, Ivy. Hopefully you took great notes since I was in the car, but I don't even know if this recording lives on a members area or not. But thank you, Darby.
Yeah, I'll get this posted out there, and we'll probably be like having a separate channel on YouTube for people that want to tune in and catch the replays of these office hours.
That's really great. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, you bet. Glad it was useful. And yeah, we'll be here at least till the middle of March for doing these kind of check-ins. Yeah, just jump on, ask your questions. And this is just really helpful for us to know how to best build out some of the additional functions behind to help supporting you guys. So appreciate you.
Yeah, very helpful, Darby.
Thank
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye.